Hello everyone, Rurikhan here coming at you with another video, and today we're going to be talking about the PlayStation Showcase 2021. In case you guys missed it, this was an event that took place last night, and most likely you already have a couple of videos from other content creators on your feed with their reactions or their thoughts on the event and stuff like that. Personally, I actually wanted to live stream it, but unfortunately life got in the way, and this was the sooner that I could get a video out there. Now, I'm going to be telling guys my thoughts on the event itself. I'm going to be talking about all of the things that were announced during the event. I'll try to be as brief as possible, even though I know I tend to ramble on, but I'll also tell you which of the things I am interested in and which of the things I'm not that interested in. So, let's get started. They started the event off with a weird chess ad that I have a couple of theories as to about the design of that particular ad, but I don't want to bore you guys too much with it. I thought that ad was kind of weird. But anyways, once that got out of the way, the first thing out of the gate was an announcement of the Knights of the Old Republic is getting a remake, specifically a remake for the PlayStation 5, but I would suspect that this is not a console exclusive. I mean, at least to me, it doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. I feel like this should come to PlayStation 5 and PC. I mean, it would be better if it would come to all platforms, because I know that there's a lot of people that have been wanting a Knights of the Old Republic remake for the longest of times. I remember playing this game a long time ago. I don't actually remember if I finished it or not, but I remember I enjoyed it quite a bit. Whatever I did play of it, I really enjoyed it. I remember that this was the first Star Wars game where I was like, ooh, vibroblades, what the hell are these? This is weird. How can they fight against lightsabers with vibroblades? This was the first time that I was introduced to the notion of what a vibroblade was. But anyways, we don't know a whole lot about this. We just know that it's being remade by a team called Asper. I actually remember that Asper used to port PC games over to Macintosh. So, you know, that's what I remember of Asper, but obviously they said that they've assembled like this dream team of people that are going to remake this. So I'm expecting something in the level of like a Blue Point remake, like we got for Shadow of the Colossus and Demon Souls, and I'm pretty sure that a majority of the Knights of the Old Republic is expecting something along those lines. So that'll be interesting. I'm super curious to see what that is going to be looking like. They didn't really give us a release date, but most likely I believe it's going to be coming out in 2023, because considering that the original released in 2003, the 15th of July in 2003, it would make sense to kind of release the remake like close to that 20-year anniversary of the game. So that would set it in summer 2023. But again, don't quote me on this. This is just an educated guess. Now, after the Knights of the Old Republic, they showed us Project Eve. Now, Project Eve pretty much just looks like Bayonetta. As far as I'm concerned, like all of the things that they showed us in that trailer, over-the-top action, to a certain extent, even the soundtrack appeared to kind of like mirror the style that Bayonetta has. Now, whether or not it's going to play like Bayonetta, feel like Bayonetta, we do not know. I'm very curious to check it out. Those animations still seem like they were in a pretty early state, because it's just the way that those animations look to me. You guys know me, I'm a freak about animations. I'm always looking and overanalyzing things, and I noticed a little bit of a lack of impact in some situations, but again, I'm super specific about that. But either way, this is one of the games that I am very interested in. This is being developed by Shift Up, which is a Korean studio. Initially, when I first heard the dialogue, I thought it was Chinese, but probably it's Korean. I actually don't know that much about Asian dialect, other than I can usually recognize Japanese. I know that wasn't Japanese, so, you know, but either way, I'm very interested. I'm super curious. I do not know if this is a console exclusive or not. Does not have a release date, so we're looking at either 2022, 2023. I wouldn't expect them to basically put a lot of games in here that they're not going to be able to put into people's hands by 2023. After Project Eve, they showed us Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, which is something that I'm personally not interested in at all. Like, I'm sorry, I had my fill of Borderlands by the end of Borderlands 2, but they keep making new ones. It looks like people are still enjoying them, so if this is for you, have a good time. It's definitely not for me. It's going to be coming out in March 25th, 2022. After that, however, they showed us Forspoken, which, if I remember correctly, this is the one that was called Project Althea, right? This was the initial name for this game, if I remember correctly. Either way, Forspoken is looking freaking beast. Like, I really like what I see of this game, and let me explain to you guys very specifically why. So for starters, we have those spells, obviously. The spells that the character is doing, they look amazing, particularly the one ice spell that they did and all of the physics reacting to the character when not. That stuff looks really good. I think there's going to be some interesting spell combinations that we're going to be able to do, and the train just decided to honk while I was recording this video. Sorry about that, guys, but for some reason, so many trains are going by my studio today. Anyway, Forspoken. I think the spells are going to be amazing. I think the game looks really good, but I think one of the most important things that is capturing me about this game is one thing that a ton of open world games tend to forget. And what is that? Traversal. I hammer this point home so many times. So many games forget about traversal. They're like, oh, let's make this huge world. And then let's make players slowly drag their asses across this huge world. Forspoken does not seem like it's going to be like that at all. You can see the character like zapping through the world super fast. You can see that when she runs, she's really booking it. And you see her jumping from mountain to mountain, teleports, grappling hooks and stuff like that. I think the traversal in this game is going to be really cool, and to me, that is one thing that a lot of open world games are overlooking. They're just like, oh yeah, here's this boring mount to go ride a horse or something. And it's like, no, dude, you have to make traversal like an interesting thing to do when you expect players to dedicate a significant amount of their time to your game. At least that's the way that I look at it. So, for instance, for those of you that played Spiderman, is traversal not awesome in that game? Just like constantly web slinging through the world and then using the mechanics of web slinging even to like get more and more speed. Like you can use the thing where he throws the webs and then yeets himself forward. Like all of those things, traversal in open world games is such an overlooked aspect, and clearly Forspoken is not doing that. I don't even know if Forspoken's open world or not, but it looks like it's going to be a joy to traverse in, and it looks like it's going to be a joy to play. So this is something that is definitely on my radar, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. And then coming off of that amazing high that was Forspoken, they showed us Rainbow Six Siege Extraction, which I couldn't care less about. I honestly think that I just don't like most of the stuff that's coming out of Ubisoft. This is not really an exception. The game's coming out in January of 2022. If you're into it, then that's when the game's coming out. Hope you enjoy it. After Rainbow Six Siege Extraction, they showed us Alan Wake Remastered for PlayStation 5. Now, this, I feel like it's kind of a big point for people that enjoy Alan Wake and then never got to play it on PlayStation, because Alan Wake obviously has been exclusive to PC and Xbox. So, it's kind of nice for the people that are interested, but personally, not that interested. It's coming out on the 5th of October. So if you want in, this is one of the games that you'll be able to get on October 5th. And then they announced Skyrim Remastered. Oh, no, wait. No, I'm sorry. I got that wrong. It's not Skyrim. It's actually GTA 5. You see, I got it wrong because it feels to me like Rockstar and Bethesda are basically on this competition to see how much money they can squeeze out of just one video game, right? And they're taking different approaches to it. So you have Skyrim, which is releasing like 1 million times, and they've also released on like every device. I mean, if you have a refrigerator nowadays, you probably can play Skyrim on your refrigerator. You can play Skyrim on your phone. You can play Skyrim on friggin' Alexa. I mean, you can play Skyrim on anything. So Bethesda's strategy is just like, release it everywhere. Release it 1 million times. Keep releasing it until the end of days, right? Whereas the Rockstar strategy is like, hey, let's just, pump everything we have into our online mode and get players to give us money by buying shark cards. So these titles to me are essentially the same. They keep releasing, they keep staying around, and they keep basically stagnating the industry instead of us actually evolving. We're staying the same forever. That's kind of what we're doing with these two games. Anyway, GTA 5 Remastered for PlayStation 5, that is coming in March 2022. If you are interested in that, I am not. I finished the original GTA 5 in PlayStation 3, if you can believe it. I played the online in PlayStation 3, and then I never touched it again, like a normal person. Anyway, moving on. They then showed us Ghostwire Tokyo. Looks really cool, but I haven't really been into first-person games for a hot minute. I think the last first-person game I really enjoyed was Doom. But I think it looks fantastic if you're into it. This is probably going to be coming out in 2022. There really is no hard release date, but Then we have Guardians of the Galaxy, which I have not been interested since the very first trailer. Does not seem like it's going to be for me. The music that they keep showing during that game seems like a bastardization of what they've done with the movies, because the movies, at least the first one had a pretty cool soundtrack, and they're trying to capture that essence and failing miserably in every aspect as far as I'm concerned. The jokes that they showed during this trailer, like Star-Lord having a heart attack, made no sense. I was like, was that supposed to be funny? Was that, was something supposed to happen there? I didn't get it. None of the jokes that they showed in this trailer landed with me. And I gotta tell you guys that the game to me just looks lame. Like, I don't know about you guys. Maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe I'll gladly eat crow, right? I'll gladly accept being wrong if the game turns out to be really good for the people that are excited about it, okay? Like, I hope the game is fantastic, but I doubt it's going to be. From what I've seen so far, looks terrible, but, good luck with that, guys, if you're into Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't know exactly what the release date on this is. I haven't even put it down. Isn't it like late this year? It's either later this year or it's next year. It's like this one's so far off my radar, I didn't even point out the release date. Then we have something that I find hilarious, which is Vampire the Masquerade Blood Hunt. The reason I find this hilarious is because this is a battle royale based around Vampire the Masquerade, which the only thing I can really comment on is, like, pay no attention to the masquerade part of Vampire the Masquerade and just slap a battle royale in there and boom, go. Start slaughtering vampires in the middle of the streets. Like, who cares, right? It's like, this is not for me at all, just for the fact that it's a battle royale. I'm not into them at all. Call me a boomer, call me whatever you want. And I think that this is a bastardization of the Vampire the Masquerade brand, but hey, it is what it is. If you're excited for it, good luck. I hope the game is fantastic for you. Either way, this is going to be releasing later this year, I assume. They just say 2021, so don't really know. After that, they showed us Deathloop. Deathloop actually looks like it's going to be pretty cool, although it's been featured so prominently in PlayStation showcases that it's like, why are you guys showing this game so much? Because, like, I've seen it so often in PlayStation showcases, I got to thinking, and then I realized, like, oh right, this is published by Bethesda. This might be the last Bethesda game that we're getting on PlayStation, right? Because, I mean, Microsoft bought Bethesda, so that might be why, Sony's like, oh man, this is going to be the last one. We better try to get our money's worth out of this one. I don't know. Either way, game's coming out on September 14th. I think it looks interesting. It does not look like it is for me, but if you're interested, I think you're probably in for a good time because it does look like a pretty decent game. Then we have Kid A Amnesia Exposition, which is some kind of collaboration between Radiohead and Epic Games, and we don't know exactly what this is. Is maybe a game that, like I said, there's exposition in the title. It's supposed to be some kind of celebration of two Radiohead titles, which is Kid A and Amnesiac, I believe, and that is coming out in November. So if you're a fan of Radiohead, maybe this will be something that works for you, but for what was shown in this trailer, I was like, nah, definitely not for me. Then we had the trailer for Chia, which is that child in an island that possesses animals and, like, does stuff out in the world. Looks interesting, looks cool. I think it'll be more interesting for the younger audience, which I think is important. Like, more and more... Previously, a couple of years ago, I would have watched the game like this and been like, man, who wants to play this? Because I just wouldn't know, right? Now that I'm a father of two, I'd be like, you know what? A couple of years from now, this might just be something that my kids would actually really enjoy. So I think this might be pretty cool for, if you have younger kids, maybe they'll be into the whole, oh, now I'm a dog and I'm digging for stuff and whatnot. I think it might be interesting for that audience, but, for me, not that much. After Chia, they showed us Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacy, which are getting a remaster for PlayStation 5 and PC. So if you're on the PC side of things, you've never gotten a PlayStation, let me tell you, Uncharted 4 is 100% worth a play. I don't know how expensive these are going to be. These might even just be like Epic Game Store things, right? Because that's usually how it goes with PlayStation games. They end up on the Epic Game Store. But either way, what I can tell you is highly, highly, highly recommend Uncharted 4. It is a fantastic title. I loved my time with the game. The game is really, 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 really fun. So if it's your first time on PC and you've never played an Uncharted game before, you should definitely get into it. It's going to be real good. On the other hand, on the remaster for PlayStation 5 side of things, I'd be like, dude, the game already looks so amazing on PS4. Like, what are they actually remastering in this game? Like, because from the trailer, I can tell. I mean, maybe it's the frame rate. Maybe they're just like optimizing things for better frame rate on PlayStation 5. But either way, you know, if you've never played Uncharted 4, you should definitely check it out. Like maybe you didn't have a PS4, maybe you got a PS5 instead. You should definitely check it out because Uncharted 4 is really, really cool. I personally really like it. There's actually a full playthrough on the channel if you're curious. At least I think. I think I streamed the whole game. So if you're curious, you can check that out and you can see some gameplay there. But the story is really, really good. So that's what I can tell you. Then they showed us a teaser trailer for a game they're calling Wolverine, which is obviously based around the Marvel hero of the same name. And my suspicion is that if you're super hyped about this, you better pump the brakes just a little bit because I wouldn't expect this to be in your hands before 2024. There's no date. They didn't give us any date whatsoever on this title, but 2024, in my opinion, is the earliest you are going to see it, and I'll explain why in just a couple of seconds here. Anyway, after that, they showed us Gran Turismo 7. Gran Turismo 7 looks real good. I always liked the Gran Turismo. I mean, I like the Gran Turismo games ever since I've started playing them, which was actually fairly late. The first time that I played a Gran Turismo was like on PlayStation 3. And I think it was Gran Turismo 6. Then I played like GT Sport on PS4. That one didn't hook me quite as much, but GT6, I really, really enjoyed it. So anyways, Gran Turismo 7 looks friggin' phenomenal. I mean, Gran Turismo games always look fantastic. I like the driving on them as well. So if you're into cars, this is probably going to be something that you'll want to check out. That is going to be coming out in 2022. Then they showed us a trailer for Spider-Man 2. This is also by Insomniac, and you know, as someone that played the original Spider-Man, loved it, played a chunk of Spider-Man Miles Morales, think it's amazing as well. And it looks like in Spider-Man 2, you're going to have both of those characters, and you're going to have Venom, and you know, I think that game is going to be a ton of fun. So yeah, if you're into Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2 is going to be coming out in 2023. And that, my friends, is why I'm telling you that you shouldn't expect Wolverine any earlier than 2024, because this is the same studio working on both games, Insomniac. And I'm not saying they're not capable of, you know, releasing two games on the same year, but considering the what they've showed us in this showcase, the progress that you can see in Spider-Man 2 versus just a CGI teaser for Wolverine, that would be what I would expect. Spider-Man 2 2023, Wolverine 2024. That's just my prediction. You know, maybe I'll be wrong, maybe I'll be right. Either way, that's what I would expect for these two titles. And then finally, they finished it off with the game that people are probably the most excited about, which is God of War Ragnarok, which looks friggin' phenomenal. I mean, you guys know this. I'm a huge fan of the God of War reboot. I mean, I'm just going to call it reboot. I mean, I'm a huge fan of the original God of War. So God of War is one of the reasons I bought a PlayStation 3 to begin with. So, you know, because that's when I had my choice to make. And I was like, oh, should I get a PlayStation 3? Should I get an Xbox? This was the point at which I decided, no, I'm going to get into console gaming. And, you know, the thing that pushed me towards PlayStation was God of War, Demon's Souls, and Wipeout, which the team that makes Wipeout no longer exists, I believe, which is a damn shame. Would have been cool to see like what a modern day Wipeout would look like. Anyway, that was the showcase that then had like an interview where it's basically a puff piece. It was Sid Schumann from PlayStation Blog just, you know, asking questions to Herman Holst, who is the leader, the lead of PlayStation Studios, and he also had a couple of interviews with some of the other things that they announced, but mostly it's just like, hey, is our game going to be awesome? Is your game going to be awesome? And then, yeah, our game's going to be real good, man. So it's like there was not a whole lot of new information there from what I can remember anyways. So yeah, that was the overall showcase. Things that I'm interested in. Obviously Knights of the Old Republic remake. I'm super curious about what they're doing with that. Project Eve as well. Forspoken. These are like 3 things I'm super interested in. Super like curious to see what they're doing with that. Then there's a bunch of stuff that I really don't care about. Only to then bring us over to the Insomniac stuff, which is Wolverine, Spider-Man 2, and naturally Santa Monica Studios' God of War Ragnarok. As a matter of fact, I might just do a full playthrough of the 2018 God of War. Maybe I'll stream that here on the channel. I don't know. Think about it. Would you guys like that? Is that something that you guys would like to watch as a live stream thing? Let me know in the comment section down below. For now, that is going to be it. Those are my thoughts on the PlayStation Showcase. Overall, you know, there's a couple of things I liked. There's a couple of things I didn't care for. I thought it was okay. It didn't really blow my mind. What would have blown my mind, though? I don't know. A remake of Soul Sacrifice. If they had announced the remake of Soul Sacrifice, I would have called this the best event of the whole goddamn year. Well, I don't know, because Summer Game Fest also had Elden Ring, right? Anyway, that's going to be it. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one. Stay strong, stay safe. Peace out.